project. So do one thing. So just create a folders. So you have an option to create the folders. Just right click on the blank space, add folder. So you can name a folder. So based on the topic, you can create a folder and keep the XAML files in the particular folder. Okay. So just create a folder as variables and click OK. Okay. So now right click, new sequence, and name it as. No, it doesn't need to open it. I said add new sequence. Uh, Vijay, go over the folder alone, not there. Click cancel. Right click the variable. Folder is there, right? For your variable folder.
This one, okay.
So right click over there. Can you see add?
Yeah.
Can you see sequence there?
Yes.
Click that. So that all the XAML files will be created under that folder. So name it as variables part 2. Okay, create. Okay, now go to the variables. I mean to say here, yes, click on the container. So on the left side, create a variable name as int input so that we denote that int because it belongs to the integer data type. So it's easy for us to identify. So from the variable type drop down, choose int32. Okay. So always remember it when you work with data type integers and boolean, always you need to set a default value. Okay.
Okay.
Why? Because when you do a calculation related to number, when it is a null value, you can't make a calculation with the other number. Okay. So always remember to keep a default value for number data types as well as boolean data type. So set it with the default value. So can you see the default? So initialize with 0 default. Okay. That should be fine. So now go to the activities in the left side bottom. Click on activities. Left side bottom, can you see activities? So drag and drop assign. Okay. So in the to activity, type the variable name. So on the right side in the enter VB expression, you can declare a number. So for this, double quotes is not required. Only for the string data types, you have to place a double quotes. Okay. So for each integer data type, there is a limitation based on the data type it is. Okay. So now drag and drop a right line. So it is an integer data type. So it is a number. So right line will accept only the string format for printing out the values. So what you have to do is you have to convert that to a string. So for that reason only we are using int input dot to string, so that we are converting to the relevant data type. So how can you find that it belong it's asking for us to give that value. So can you see in the right side under text, can you see a button there, 3 dots? Click on that. So here you can see the data type. So it's asking for string. So whether you're giving the input or taking the output, you can just click on the button so you can see what data type it is requesting for. Okay. So now click on cancel. So now in order to make a operations like arithmetic calculations, anything, what you can do is you can create a one more number variable, set a value to it, and then you can runtime if you want to set another value, you can use assign activity. If you want to make calculation and store it to a variable, also you can use assign activity. Like you can give 9 plus int input a if there is a variable, or you can give int input plus 1. So drag and drop a right line. So enter VB expression in between a circle brace. In between the circle brace. No, I mean to say clear everything. In between the circle brace. Int input plus 1. In the end, after the close circle brace, add dot to string. Okay. So now drag and drop a assign activity above the right line. Okay. So in the left side, can you see assigned int input? The two activity type int input. In the right side, you can say int input plus int input. So if it is the other variable, you can declare that since we have the same. So whatever the value it has been holding, the value will be calculated with the same, and the result will be stored to the int input. Okay, same way you can perform subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, modulus, so you can get the relevant results. So only thing is, don't use double quotes for while you calculate or anything. Okay, for integer data types, it doesn't accept the string, so it doesn't need to use the format of double quotes. It has to be a number. That should be fine. Is it clear? Any doubts?
Yeah.
Okay. So now create a new variable named as a small a double r small a double r followed by capital I followed by nput input. No, input, not input, just input. Yeah. So from the variable type, choose a drop down and choose array of t. See, basically array is nothing but it's a one dimensional. That means a space given us to store multiple values of same data type. Okay. So here, whatever the data type you choose, based on that, the value can be stored. If I choose int32, I can store multiple numbers. If I store string, I can store multiple string values. So first store int32 and click OK. So it is a array of integer. Okay. In order to store the values, drag and drop assign below the right line. Okay. So in the left side, drag and drop it, or just double click it. It should also work. Okay. So in the to activity, declare the variable name. Okay. In the right side, enter VB expression in between the curly brace. Curly brace means angular brace, curly brace, not the circle brace. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each value of this will be stored in each dimension. So here the values are accessed based on the index value. So when you declare the value, that means the one will be starting from 0. That means one will be stored in the 0th position, followed by the sequential of number. Okay. So in order to print the value or access the value, drag and drop a right line. So when it is denoting an error, I think you didn't save the variable data type. Always remember it. When you get a red mark, that means there is some issues which you have to rectify it. Okay. So the variable data type that we have to select is array of integer. So Can you choose the data type properly? Array input, the below one. Yes, click on that. Go for system in 32. Yes, click OK. Click OK, it is already there, the integer. Okay, so now it should, the red mark should be gone. Click outside, see. So now in order to access the values, in the right line, just type array input, ARR input. Okay, circle brace. So which value we need to access? Suppose I want to access 3. So 1 is in the 0 position, second one is in 1, third one is in 2. So 2, give type 2. In the end, add dot to string because it is a integer data type, but we have to declare that. So now when we are running the program, it'll be printing number 3. Suppose I wanted to know what is the number of values present in the particular array. So drag and drop one more right line. So in the enter VB expression, type array input dot length dot. So length will return you the integer value. So we are adding dot to string for that. So now this will return you 5 because 5 values are present in that. Suppose I want to modify an array value. Okay. So drag and drop a assign activity below the right line. So on the left side, type array of input, circle brace of 2 because we're going to modify the third value. So circle brace of 2. So on the right side, you can give a bigger value like 100, give 100. So now drag and drop a right line below the assign activity. And just print the array input of 2.toString of 2. You missed out 2. I said right. So when you're using array, you have to call the index number in the end and dot to string. Okay, so now scroll little up. Suppose I want to run a program from in between a module. So the first block is already clear with me, it's working fine. If I want to run from a in between, so what I have to do is scroll down. Can you see the assign activity where we initiated the array? Right click that. Right click that activity. Can you see run from this activity? Run from this activity. The end. Yes, click on that. So this will initiate the run from that particular module, but this won't be working if you have placed the thing in an if condition or any other application in between that, because that has to be initiated in order to proceed further to this. Okay, it doesn't work for any loops and conditions, anything, because it's initiated and it's verifying and then it's coming inside the loop. So it's always doesn't work for any particular application.
Hello.